RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.
Hello and welcome to the SportsHeads, the #1 NFL show for UK fans, which you can find on YouTube every single week. The SportsHeads aim to bring you news and views on the NFL, the upcoming action and the previous week's action every week. Week 12 is upon us once more, and we're going to take a look at some of the games from a betting angle. I'm Simon Millen from Lindy Sports UK, and I'm here in the London studio of Red Zone Sports with two very special guests indeed. Split out wide, we have Sam the Man Morgan from The Verge magazine, and I'm pleased to say Warren Lambias, the co-founder of Red Zone Sports, is the centre of this non-offensive line.
I want to know how we've got week 12 upon us again. I don't understand.
It was week 12 last year at the same time, believe it or not. Yeah, you know, I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to make mess ups like that. You know, you know how this thing goes.
Yeah, as long as it's not the betting. Yeah.
Let's mess ups are my thing with betting. Let's talk about some betting anyway. We've picked a couple of games that we like and we don't like. We're going to disagree on a few of these things. Warren obviously is the co-founder of Red Zone Sports. They do love to take a bet, which is good, and it's to my cost, no doubt.
I'd like to point out I went 3-2 with the right way last week. So
let's just gloss over that. Miami at New England. Yeah, well done. Miami at New England. Now, New England are 16.5-point favourites at home to the Dolphins.
Yep.
Key battle in the AFC East. The Patriots obviously 8-2 record. The Dolphins have lost their last 4. And they're sitting at 4-6. So, what do we make of this, chaps?
Well, I know what you're picking. So Simon's picking minus 16.5 for New England Patriots, which is just a dangerous bet. Do I think that the Patriots could blow out Miami like that? Absolutely. But the thing is, Moore came in again. Now, we said this earlier on in the season, and then Moore actually dropped an egg. But Moore coming in, the Miami offense looks better with him in, I think, and Jay Cutler. Whatever's happening behind the scenes, I don't think Miami players are buying Jay Cutler. So, although New England Patriots are flying and they will probably smash the Dolphins out of the park, I think it's a dangerous bet to do minus 16.5 points. I think the line's too high. I think you don't know what you're going to get from Miami in terms of offense, and I keep saying this: the New England Patriots don't have to win by 16.5 points. All they care about is winning.
Okay.
So yeah, I sort of agree with you on those points. I just think it's too high. I just don't see Miami not scoring either against the Patriots defense. I think it's too much of a gap for me. So I would probably go the other way round actually and go with Miami.
Yeah, I can't back Miami.
No.
But I think it's just a slight overreaction on the performance by the Pats down in Mexico. Looked fantastic. You know, very rarely for us, but as a bookmaker, we were cheering the Pats last week.
Fair enough.
But I just think it's too much.
Contrasting, I mean, you look at the Oakland offense and you think it's far more potent with a decent quarterback in Derek Carr than the Miami Dolphins are with you know, the guy that's coming in that played against Baltimore, Matt Morse, that made his first start of the season against Baltimore, and they were blown out 40-0 on a Thursday night game. It was absolutely horrific. Yes, he played well coming in relief. He's done that a couple of times. He gets the start again. He looked competent enough against Tampa Bay. That was a closer game than the 30-20 score suggests, but this is New England. This isn't Tampa Bay. New England tight ends. Gronkowski was targeted just 3 times against the Raiders. They've got Martellus Bennett in there, 2 great tight ends. They've got good blocking tight ends as well. Miami susceptible perennially to a tight end situation, and they will just be killed up the middle again.
No, listen. Do I think the New England Patriots are going to win the game? Do I think they're going to win the game easy? I do. I think with garbage time scores, although actually Bill Belichick is one of those people that likes to beat up on a team, so
it'll be foot on the throat.
Yeah, probably, especially in a divisional game, I suppose. But you wouldn't find me backing a team minus 16.5. I've been taught my betting on NFL by Steve Ballmer, who is I think the cleverest guy out there. That's why I went into business with him. I hope he's going to buy me a drink for that plug. And he always taught me you shouldn't really be backing over -3. He said then you can go to -7. If I went back to the back office and said I'd back someone minus 16.5. I think you'd probably slap me around the face with a kipper.
Especially when you've got a defence that's ranked in the bottom. Well, the bottom 5 in fact. I mean, you look at their past defence, you look at their...
We've been saying that week on, week out. I think looking at the Pats D for the first 4 weeks is not looking at the Pats D since, so...
The situational defence has got a lot better, I'll grant you that. But then I look at the offence and you think Brandon Cooks, who 6 of 9 catches last week, for goodness knows, 149 yards, a couple of touchdowns. I mean, against this Miami cornerback group and secondary that are playing soft, they tend to, and this is a real problem, I don't know quite what's going on there, but they tend to give up far too many yards. They don't want to give up the big play, so they're playing soft, and that's just going to play into the hands of Gronkowski and Martellus Bennett. So I'm all over and the way Miami start, they just don't start until the second half, until it's too late. This could be all over before half time.
I will. Everything you say makes sense, and I'm just gonna get out Exhibit A, which is the New York Giants versus the Kansas City Chiefs last week.
Fair enough.
And so you can never tell in this league.
Fair enough.
You can never tell. And 16.5 points is a lot. And as I've always said to you, if you want to back a team minus 16, they are at home at least. Normally you like backing 16.5 away.
You will take a bet.
We'll take your bet.
Absolutely fine. The next game we're going to have a look at is the Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. Carolina are 4.5 point favourites. They're going up against the Jets defence that has been playing tough, but the way I looked at it, I've gone with Carolina. The Jets were going to be in a difficult spot in the next few games. I thought they were going to tailspin. I think this is the first of those games that they are actually going to give up the ghost. I don't know what you guys think about this one.
I think, there's be plenty of points in this game, for sure. I'm sure you'll let us know what the point system is there. Was it
over 40?
So, I probably agree with you on that if you're taking that bet. Cam, I think, will run riot, and I would probably take that bet of minus 4.5. But for me, just as a little edge, is that Cam can be very unpredictable in games. So, but yes, I'll sit on the 4.5.
Amazingly, we're all in agreement. That's got to be a rarity, by the way. I think that the over 40 is appealing to me, so I'll be taking it as a bet. I think that the Jets defence is ranked 21st. I think we discussed this earlier, and I think that if you look at the way that the Panthers have been playing since Benjamin went to the Bills, they've got those young wide receivers that are stretching the field. They're playing underneath to the running backs who are really acting as pass catchers, and now suddenly you're going to put Greg Olsen in there, and you're asking the Jets then
it's a whole new dynamic.
They're going to have to defend the seams. I think suddenly you're giving Cam all his weapons, and suddenly he's got you. If you're the Jets, ranked 21st defense, you're going. Are we protecting the backfield? Are we protecting these pass catching running backs? Are we protecting the seams? And I think for that reason, I think Carolina are going to actually they will score big on the Jets, and I think over 40. I feel it's low, and I think that. I really like the Panthers to sort of. So we're in agreement, chaps. It doesn't happen that often, so we're all going to lose. That's what's going to happen.
100%.
And Carolina were dominant when I saw them against the Dolphins in Carolina, and Dolphins just couldn't get out of their own way. But the way
you're
it was
a Dolphins
methodical.
fan, aren't you?
Used to be,
I'm just looking at you to go like just cry.
Exactly. That's why you got the pocket handkerchiefs. Bring it out. But they were methodical. They're not a flashy team by any means, but they played good defence. And I think Carolina giving up 4.5 it's doable in New York. Question slightly about the overs unders. Depends on what the weather is in New York. I mean, it's now starting to get a lot colder. I do like the weather at this time of year. I do like looking at the lines. So I'm going to quick look at the weather forecast before I make any decisions on the weather.
Not a bad one, but I still think that Meadowlands, weather outside, yes. If it's a blizzard, then I would. But if it's anything else, these players, they play there all the time, so I wouldn't. If it was a team that plays indoors, then I take the weather. I take the weather into account.
Right.
But they're not.
So you're now asking everyone to check weather reports before placing bets.
That's he is.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Place your bets. Go in your gut.
There was very, very windy in New York on Sunday. We saw 15 points total scored against Jets and Kansas City. Anyway, let's move on to the next game we've got on the list. Green Bay plus 14.5 points at Pittsburgh. Now,
this is one of yours. I'm not
it is one of mine. It was a difficult one for me. Brett Huntley doesn't offer anything, but Cecil made a point in an earlier show that Pittsburgh tend to play down to their opposition. And that's really the way I've taken this game.
They could play down to their opposition. I just don't. Look,
it's a big line.
Yeah, it's a big line, and normally I like a big line, and I'd be jumping all over it. But I just don't think Huntley's shown me anything that I could back. So, and if it was in Green Bay, maybe, but it's not. It's away at the Steelers, and the Steelers, they've got that ability to absolutely beat 10 bells out of a team and blow them out of the park. So, although normally plus 14 or plus 14.5 would be a bet that I would recommend, I'm not going to touch it for the same reason that I couldn't touch Miami at the moment. I just don't know enough about them. So I'll let you. You're welcome to come and bet with us on that line, and we'll give you the best price out there.
It is a dangerous game. I think with Huntley as well. I think he obviously lost Ty Montgomery, ribs. I don't know if obviously he's going to be back. Jones got injured as well, so it was like okay, the running game sort of gone. We brought in a rookie in Williams. He did okay, he fared okay.
Both tackles are injured as well.
But yeah, so it's like, it is a bit of a dangerous bet, and I'd probably sit on that. I would normally go for that.
Yeah. You missed last week's show where I declared that Baltimore at Green Bay was my second nap of the week, so I'm just going to go. There you go. That's it. I'm giving everyone winners. Not everyone winners. So,
So what you're saying, basically, you're setting yourself up.
People are getting the kippers.
Setting yourself up there. But I see where you're coming from that one. But I'd probably still give it a little side bet, maybe potentially with that spread.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dangerous game. I totally agree. Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City 9.5-point favourites, coming off the loss of coming on the back of a shocking loss to the New York Football Giants. Now, Andy Reid has got a great record coming off byes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They came off a bye and were absolutely flat against the Giants. I don't understand how that happened. They're 6-4. They lead the division. Any given Sunday, admittedly.
They've lost 4 out of their last 5. So that's a bit of a worry for Kansas. You and I disagreeing on this. I'm on the Bills. This is a line I will take because I think there's a little overreaction now. I think I'm expecting the Bills to go back to Tyrell Taylor. If they don't go back to Tyrell Taylor, do not take the Bills. No. Okay, that's what I would say to you.
Yeah.
But if they go back to Tyrell Taylor, I'm liking the Bills. I tell you why. I think the Kansas City defense is 29th against the rush. The Bills are a rush first team.
Yeah.
So I think as long as it stays close, which obviously it's a 9.5-point line. Of course, I want it to stay close. But as long as they don't get down big early, they will continue to rush the ball. They've got Michelle McCoy. They are a rush. They are built to rush that team with Tyrell Taylor in. I think it suits them going against the team that is susceptible against the rush.
I thought it was interesting to see the Buffalo defense actually do quite well last week in terms of getting the ball back into the quarterback's hands each time for him to throw that many interceptions.
Yeah, especially first half. That's a fair point. Yeah.
So you might see it that they actually do get sort of close. And as we've seen,
but they were also pretty good at giving up points as well. 56 points.
Not that. I think the offensive line of Kansas now, we're starting to see a few few more cracks than
I think
Kareem Hunt's not the player. He's not making the difference that he was. So I just think that if you were going to give me a high line to go on this week, it would be the Bills, as long as Tyrell Taylor goes in.
I expect a bounce back from Kansas City. I think yes, they've been missing Eric Berry, for the bulk of the season. I think that's a major issue for them. We thought it would come to pass at some point in the season. It clearly has. But I expect a bounce back. I just think Buffalo's defence has given up 111 points, something like that, ridiculous in the last 3 games, something stupid like that.
I still think it's a better defence than that has suggested. They've had a lot of woes on offence over the last few weeks, which meant the D's been on the field for a long time. I think this game suits them personally. I think if you were them, and also I think just picking up on that, I think the Bills want to bounce back. That was a bit of a humiliating defeat. You stick Tyrell Taylor in, he's got something to prove. I think it was disgusting that he was dropped in the first place. It was
I think
crazy. He almost did prove himself actually when he did come into the game, what he actually did. But give him a full game, he's definitely going to go out of the water.
Last game on our list is the New Orleans Saints at the Rams. Probably the game of the week for me. The Rams 2.5-point favourites. Now New Orleans missing a bit of a pass rush with Alex Okafor out with an Achilles injury for the rest of the season. And also missing Marshawn Lattimore, their top cornerback as well, which has been a massive plus for them.
He's been sensational.
Yeah, he has.
He's definitely out, is he?
Yes, he is, as far as we know. So there are a couple of injuries. The other Flip side of that is there are injuries on the Rams. They're down to the third string cornerbacks, which is a real problem for them. But I've actually taken the Rams. I think the Rams will take this game.
I'm the other way. So you can play. You can act as judge between us. I like the Saints. I think the Saints are looking a really well-balanced team on both offense and defense. I think for the running backs, they've got the best tandem running backs in the league at the moment. I think they've got Ingram and Alvin Kamara, the rookie. I think the two of them have really. They've taken the pressure off Drew Brees.
Absolutely they have, yeah.
And suddenly Drew Brees is able to. Is like, oh, fantastic, and they're opening up space and targets, and he's finding it easier than he's found it in the last few years to actually do what Drew Brees does. And I think that win last week, that come from behind win to snatch a victory against the Skins, that's a momentum builder. That's almost like, watch out, Philly. I know you think you've got this conference tied up, but even though they're going to be playing outside if they have to play Philly in the playoffs, the way it stands at the moment, I think no one's going to be looking at New Orleans thinking, I fancy playing them. They look dangerous.
I think the New Orleans defense has been playing lights out, but I think those two they are key players. You don't get pressure up front, you put pressure on the back end, and if you've lost a key player on the back end as well, that's going to be a massive problem for them. And I think they're not going to get the pressure on Jared Goff. I think he's going to pick his spots. Yes, Cooper Kupp's had a couple of major drops. He's pretty inconsistent, it seems, at this stage of the season, but I still think they've got enough. I'm
not sure as well. I think people will look at how the Vikings got a great defense. Look how the Vikings played them last week. And I mean, I've gone for the under 53.5. I think it's actually gone up to 54 now, but I don't know what we've got in the graphic. I like the under as well because I think both teams are going to struggle to score this week. And I think the Saints have just got a little bit more firepower. That's why I've gone for the Saints plus 2.5 and the under. I think, could the Rams win it? Of course they could. They're a good team themselves, and they're looking to bounce back. I just think that the Coliseum's a funny place as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we've seen it rocking at all yet, have we? Do you know what I mean? And so it's even though the Rams are playing at home, I don't really give that much credence in the Coliseum.
They've had a pretty soft schedule. Let's be honest. I mean, they've not played too many teams with winning records. So how good are they? And much the same. You can say much the same with the Saints, but there's still all to play for, gents. Good luck with your bets.
Well,
interesting
let me
just
ones pitch in on, because you guys went either way. To be honest, looking at that game, I would call that for me a coupon buster, if anyone still uses that term, because I think it could go either way. You say 54 points?
54 points is the.
I'd take the under that on that if I was going to bet anything on that game. If I had to, and someone was about to hit me with a kipper or whatever sort of fish that you're going to hit me with, I would probably choose the Saints on this one.
It's 53.5 is the total at the moment.
Yeah, I'd probably choose the Saints only just because of these new weapons that they've got on the running game. I think if they didn't have that, I think the Rams would probably have enough to sort of go out and win this. But Cooper Kupp, if he does turn up again, the Cooper Kupp that was obviously people been raving about, then the game could go either way.
Yeah, we were raving against Cooper Kupp when they were playing the Cardinals. Sorry, when they didn't show up. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks,
so these are real games now. That was a real defence you played against last week, and that's when you find the measure of a player. It's not when they're beating up on a team or anything like that.
They were pretty unfortunate. There was a touchdown that shouldn't have been a touchdown. I thought the Minnesota Vikings got a few calls, homer calls. I think that's a lot closer.
That strip on the 1 yard line was that's the momentum of the game. That changed there.
And that was the fourth quarter.
If the Rams had taken the
fourth quarter.
If the Rams had taken the lead there, then it would have been a different game. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm the Rams, and I'm probably going to looking at Highline. I love our Highline on the overs and unders. I'm going to go with the overs as well. I don't know quite why, but I just think that cornerbacks.
You're a bookmaker's dream. I tell you that's it.
Did you get his account, sir?
I know. It's like minus 16.5. I want that. 54. I want that. Anything
Anything like that. So, gents, good luck with your bets. Been really interesting conversation as always. We are the Sports Heads, and we will see you again next time. From Sam Morgan, Warren Lambias, Simon Millam, thanks again.
American football and my hot cheerleaders. It'll make you feel like a Yank. RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.